right, he's pooping, everyone. All right.
That's the golden throne.
Are you? Oh, you're right.
Golden throne.
Are you guys ready? We're doing
Yep.
this.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between, welcome to the Everything and Nothing Show. I'm just one of your hosts with the mostest, Clayton Kisco, and I'm accompanied, of course, by the rest of the Maelstrom gamers. With us on this podcast today, we have the bad boy, Cop Show's #1 fan, the man who loves cops more than anyone in this world, Steve Landis. Going to do? What are you going to do when those cops come for you? Next up, we have a man who has a perfect bow, the artist formerly known as the Enigma, the wild card, Ian Kane.
What's going on,
Welcome
fellas?
back.
Bringing it back.
And then you might see this handsome young fella down to the right below Steve-O. And you might be thinking, who the hell is this guy with his little goatee and his crazy little, his stubblies on the side of his cheeks? He's so handsome. He's got the little beautiful curls. Well, that's Robb Greene, ladies and gentlemen, and he's joining us today on this podcast. Welcome,
Pleasure to be here.
Robert Greene.
Welcome, man.
Robert
Thank you.
Greene, you are also known as the War Chiefs of the Dukes of Nuke and Bartertown's official gun seller. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, you got that right.
That's awesome.
They call me War Chief out there, or the Duke.
Yeah.
Wasteland. Yeah.
Yeah, you are the leader, the de facto leader. We're going to get into that in just a minute. We're going to talk about more about what the hell is a war chief, what is a duke, what is a nuke in this context, and what is Wasteland. We're going to get to all that stuff in just a second. But before we do, we got to do that fun little rigmarole because we need you guys to help support us, right? And you all know that these YouTube episodes get onto our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Maelstrom Gamers channel, and each topic, 5 in total, are going to be doled out Monday through Friday, episode by episode, and they're all free rather, and the full episodes on Saturday as well, free. If you'd like to give us as little as $1 and get these episodes early, you can go on to patreon.com/Maelstrom Gamers and throw us a couple bucks, and we give you rewards. It's really great, and we really appreciate it. If you don't have money, you're poor, that's awesome. I understand the economy sucks, and you just don't have the cash to give iTunes Top 10 podcast some cash. So go on to YouTube. All that stuff is free. You can comment, like, and subscribe and share. It's free ways to support us, and we really appreciate it. Instagram, anything on that front, Steve-O? We're still doing fun.
Yeah, I'm still doing Instagram. I'm still loading up videos as much as I can. Also, funny memes every once in a while, or something like that.
Everybody memes.
I love memes. I can't get me
Yeah.
enough memes. I just eat that shit up. So check out
Coral?
Instagram. Not too many people know we have that. And also, Steve was making really funny videos on us streaming games on Battlefield 1. Really hilarious stuff. Check that out. Him and Rocco just went on a crazy crusade and had tons of fun. And
That was just one game.
That was just one game. Yeah.
That was just one game.
And that was insane. And we also want to play with you. So if you guys are out there, add us to your Steam, add us to your Xbox, your PS4 handles. Come play with us. We want to play with you guys.
Yeah,
Become a Maelstrom Gamer. You sexy beasts out there. So that's it. That's the rigmarole. Let's go on to our first topic. Like I promised, it's going to be what is Wasteland - Robb Greene. So Robb Greene, explain to us, what is Wasteland? We've been hearing about this thing.
Well, Wasteland is the world. It's officially the world's largest post-apocalyptic party. This thing got started before I started in it. Basically, what this is in a nutshell, we all go out to the desert, and if you've seen Mad Max, like all the Mad Maxes, there's a place called Bartertown, and so we kind of took that and we built a place called Wasteland City, and we go out there each year and we hand build the city, and everybody brings something to the table that makes up the city, and it's basically Burning Man for Mad Max fans. You have to go there. When you go there, you have to be in post-apocalyptic gear. You can't be in modern clothing.
What does that mean? Like, I've seen pictures. I see spikes. I see lots of helmets, like very Mad Max stuff, like S&M meets Road Warrior. Road
I mean, yeah.
What kind of party is this?
It's
Bring water.
I'm coming.
Bring water. Yeah.
It's basically, there are some guidelines with the costumes, but it's people who want to embrace the post-apocalyptic culture that we all know and love. They're encouraged. dress up as that. So if it be Road Warrior, if it's Fallout, if it's whatever is your jam, it's pretty much there's a place for it out there.
So it's
That's
kind of
awesome.
like LARPing then.
Well, there is an element of role play involved per se, but it's not everybody has to do it. Like really, because you have performers obviously who have that element of role play, and I think I've almost fallen into that category now. Being out there and being leader of a tribe. Every tribe tries to bring something to the table, and when I say tribe, like it's a group of 5 or it's you all could just go and be a tribe. That's it. Like
Maelstrom tribe.
Yeah.
it's like having your own gang, pretty much.
We're not the best.
We're certainly not the worst. But we're entertaining. 10 cents a dance.
Just dancing the whole time.
You got to be. I think you'd be a fine addition out there. I've been trying to get Clay to go for years now.
Yeah.
Dear.
And I would have,
And
but
all you
now I
have to
have
do
a
is
kid.
throw his biker jacket on him, take off his glasses. He looks tough.
I mean, I never said he'd be looking tough. I'd probably like.
I won't go that far.
Let's not go that far.
You don't say that.
You don't say that.
So I got a
Guys,
question.
I am the toughest. Are you kidding me?
Sure.
How much water do I have to bring?
Tough man brings no water.
Oh, right.
He's
Bring a lot of water.
Oh.
That's one mistake a lot of people make out there is that they're like, "No, it's daytime. I can drink. It's fine."
They're
And
dehydrated.
They're dehydrated. So
Hey, do you have to worry about scorpions?
yeah, you have to worry about scorpions. You got to worry about rattlesnakes. It's the Mojave Desert. I mean, we're out in the middle of the desert. I've seen.
Yeah, they're
I've seen
hungry
some-
too.
Yeah, I've seen some big spiders. I've seen some big,
Jesus.
scorpions.
Spiders. I don't care about snakes or scorpions. Spiders now.
Yeah.
So we found a baby rattler in our camp last year, so that was no good.
So I've heard a story about a relatively new tribe. Because this is no joke. Like, you tend to be a very humble, grounded person, Rob, but you are sought after from other tribes, and in such a way that they know you. Because there's a currency there, and I'm sure you're going to get to describing what the currency is, but they go to you for quests, and you send them off on these wild adventures because you have been here so long, you know other people, and you want them to help other people, and you're willing to give them currency in exchange. And I remember this one story, but I think the Wolf Clan or something, like, they had approached you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you tell that story to Ian and Steve? Because I barely remember it. And
Well, here's how it goes. Is that this is a 4-day party. And let's say you guys are going for the first time, you'd be camping outside the gates, and there are different areas that people camp in, depending on your theme. So if you're just in the general Wasteland population, you're out there in, Silent Death or, areas like that. And
area.
it's so basically what every tribe tries to do is that if you're an official tribe, you get yourself registered and everything like that, you can bring something to the table. Like, you could be like the water worlders and bring water and offer a water service to the, this is there's a Wasteland library. There is a Wasteland film festival. There's a Wasteland, coffee shop. There's, they're called the Coffeens.
This is sounding less and less post-apocalyptic and more like I'm going down to the Starbucks.
Well, this is just in Wasteland City. Like, this is just within the city, which is interesting because that used to be just like a couple tents and like no walls, and now it's this huge thing.
Yeah.
But people come to me because my tribe, the Dukes of the Nuke are mercenaries, quote unquote. So what we do is people who go bounty hunting, which is like Assassin. If you've ever played that, you get a bounty poster, you find that person, but you make them do a challenge like rock, paper, scissors, or drink a beer, or whatever you can think of.
That's pretty awesome.
So once you track down this person, you would want to go ahead and challenge them and take their bounty finger, you turn it in, and you get what Clay was mentioning earlier, the currency, which is bottle caps. So people will come to me and hire me and my crew to help them find their bounties or pull some shenanigans. And in this bounty hunting, I actually managed in 2013, I managed to capture one of the tribe leaders in his own establishment, like his own place called the Mushroom Cloud Lounge. This girl came up to us and had this guy's bounty poster, and as mercenaries, we're just lounging about because we haven't gotten a job yet, so we're all drinking and hanging out, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta help me! I can't find this guy. Like, can you help me find this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, we can help you find him. Just like we'll split the reward and call it even." And she's like, "Okay." And so we just kind of like push her aside real quick, and then I just kind of wave my hand, and my guys just grab all the airsoft that they can. It's broken airsoft, by the way. It's all prop guns, it's all costumes. So, but they're all legit. So they all arm up, and we tactically move through the city, and then find the lounge, and then breach in, and then have all of our guns up. And it became a Mexican standoff because there was like 5 other people in there. So it was 5 on 5. All guns were all up on each other. And it goes down to rock, paper, scissors down the line, like from one person to the other. And it was, and so it went. We mostly won, and then when it came down to me and their tribe leader, I won, and I took him out and turned in his bounty, and that forever put me on the path of his enemy. That snowballed into the rivalry that lived on until just this year, the Dukes of the Nuke versus the Skullduggers, which was just a rival chaotic tribe.
The Skullduggers.
Yeah.
Do they have a Twitter account?
I don't know if they do.
We'll attack them. We'll add Skullduggers. Everybody tweet at Skullduggers. Call them punks.
It's okay, because we made peace this year, which was historic.
Don't do that. Don't
We're still gonna attack them. We're still gonna attack them.
Okay.
It's fine.
Bring back this war.
You're not associated with me. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
cool.
people will come to me either to hire me or to try and capture me and kill me. I got kidnapped one year by the Skullduggers. I was muzzled like Mad Max was. I actually got away when they put me on this big deuce-and-a-half military truck. They rolled me over to the casino, and when they brought me down, I booked and kind of like looked at each other and then ran after me. And I'm running all through the city with this muzzle on my mask and handcuffed. And it, like, the opening scene of Fury Road always reminds me of that.
That's awesome.
But it was great. They captured me and they sold me off to the casino. And there's a casino in town. And they bought me for a 6-pack of beer and a couple caps and turned me into a human lazy Susan for the entire casino staff. And I had to serve wine and cheese to people until
This is the war chief of the Dukes and Nukes turned into just a simpleton?
Well, it was unfortunately some dire circumstances, and I had my revenge because I ended up stealing their Holy Skull relic, which is the founder of the Skullduggers. It was a skull in a box. I took that. I took all of their uranium, which was a bunch of marble. That is, and so, but basically how I got that was people will come to me looking for work, and I will give them missions that I have. And one of the missions ended up kind of snowballing into this bigger adventure for this one crew. And they ended up stealing this item, and it gets pretty insane. It gets a little out of hand. You got to roll with the chaos as it goes out there. But it's a lot of fun because it gets people immersed, and that's my main job out there. Is really like I love working with people who are going for the very first time because they have no idea what to expect. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the many things that I think can really make and break your Wasteland is that, if somebody's able to kind of pull you aside and say, hey, can you do this job for me? And it turns into this bigger thing. And then they're just raving about it like at night when everybody's getting drunk together. So it's a lot of fun, but I've made a lot of enemies and a lot of allies throughout it so far.
It sounds so cool. It sounds like it would be any damn convention you could ever go to, because it's just in its own world, right?
It's like the actual part.
Just
walk around in a costume.
But even it sounds even like interesting, right? To like if Ian and Steve.
Do you ever have?
If we were like over there having drinks, and then just some rando runs right by us with people chasing him, he's got a muzzle on his handcuffs. You're like, man, I wonder what the fuck that's about.
Would you trip him?
Oh my god! Yeah, I'll have what they're having.
No, but have you ever had people like take it too far? Like that's what I'm wondering. Like you ever just like, because you know how like you guys had a Maximum standoff. Like, did you guys just say, all right, rock paper scissors, or is that like standard? Like,
well, no, I mean, like there's like when I say like role play and stuff like that, like it's very role play light in a way. Like the entertainers will obviously be, think of it like a Renaissance fair. Like get involved if you want to or not. But it's a Renaissance fair where everybody's in costume, so you might as well just kind of join and have some fun.
Yeah.
can take fun a little too far, but that stops really quickly because people be like, "Hey, that's not cool," and they're like, "Oh, so sorry," and then they'll just get back.
Let's rape the women. Whoa. What? Mad
Yeah.
Max 2. Mad Max 2. What?
It's but no, we never had it go too far at all. Now, when I say too far, there are limits. I guess we just haven't gotten to yet, and it's already been crazy. So I don't know what you got to do to get people to say, "Hey, don't do that."
When you described it earlier, like,
when does this all go on?
This all goes on for one weekend out of the year. It's in late September usually.
So it already happened?
Yes. No, I just got back from this year's event, and that was crazy. Like this was the biggest year thus far. I was on CNN, which was weird. Like my sister called me at work. She's like, "You're on CNN," and I'm like, "What?"
What?
Yeah.
man.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah.
Was I coherent? Okay.
It's crazy how big it's got.
It gets bigger every year, right?
Every year, yeah, especially with Fury Road. Like, you already had a lot of Mad Max fans, which was nice to see. It was a collection of people that grew up with the movie like I did. Like that,
Yeah.
for me, this is really cool because it's like I grew up on this stuff, and now it's like I'm getting to play on the biggest playground I could ever imagine, and it's a lot of fun like that. And I think that's for a lot of people too. It gives them a chance to kind of let go and be somebody else for a weekend if they want to, or just kind of go and enjoy the scenery and the free booze, pretty much, because there's no money out there. It's all barter. So,
Do you have to pay to get in? Sorry, Steve. I know you have a question.
yeah, you pay to get in. So it's usually like, I don't know, like $115 for a ticket at full price. But if you get it early, it can be around like $50 or $70.
That's
depending
not bad
on
for a weekend of like entertainment and
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's
you
just
have to get
camping.
out there.
Yeah, you just got to get out there, but that's no excuse, Clay. Like,
I have a kid.
Jeez.
That's an excuse.
Yeah. Bring him with you.
It's a barter
But I
system.
have a
Go out
kid,
there and
Rob.
barter them away.
Yeah, just bring. Is there babies? Do people bring kids?
I would know it's not a kid-friendly event.
Yeah,
It's,
I didn't think so.
it's 18 and up, I believe, or 21 and up now.
Yeah.
It's not a kid-friendly event.
Okay.
Don't bring
All right. So don't bring your kids. Sorry, Xander.
your kids.
No, you can't go.
He does not like that.
He's
Xander
talking.
just-
He's like, I want to go. I want to see Uncle Rob.
But I work on this thing year round, in a sense, like, because for me, being like, I started with a tribe of 5 people, like, and now I'm up to 30. Like,
Oh shit.
it's every year I'm building a movie set, and
Yeah.
it's like all the stuff that I have is at my house. It's pretty insane, but I spent this year building a storage unit, but also it's our armory. So during the year, we just pull all the stuff out of it, and it's our working armory. And we actually did a lot of business out of it this year, which was great. And people just come up and barter.
Do you
in
actually
fact-
make money, or you just make bottle caps that you can use elsewhere?
Well, I mean, like, what I do is I acquire through trade a lot of broken airsoft, and I retrade it out. So it's kind of like a ever recycling inventory of different gear and goods, which is nice, and it actually just proves the barter theory works. But I do, like, as far as getting things up and operational, like, that's money that comes out of my own pocket, unfortunately. But it's worth it because it's like this is my art project for the year.
It's
So
your hobby. It's
my
something
hobby,
you're
yeah.
passionate about. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like just like us, we love video games. I pump a lot of money into video games and everything.
Me
So.
me too. So, I actually, one of the fun things this year was you guys play Fallout, I take it.
I have, yeah.
So the new California Republic made their appearance pretty big this year, and I had gotten to know them. And basically, what the stakes were this year is that everything that happens at the event, lore-wise, is kind of what stages what's going to happen at next year's event. So the Skullduggers and I's rivalry, that's been like now, I guess, legend amongst the people. And they moved out of the city this past year and started Undertown. And Undertown is the hive for all the scum and villainy to hide from the Bronze and the mercenaries such as us, and pretty much a safe haven for all the scum.
Nice.
And a casino. And
Or so they think.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
You gotta get a rogue in there, man. Gotta get a rogue in there.
A mole.
Yes.
Moly, 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 moly.
I will be that man.
Yeah, I will do this for you, Warlord.
But I tried to mount a defense for the city, and that's what the whole background was. So I was getting tribes to ally with me and everything. And one was the 20 Mule Team Rangers, the NCR outpost. And it was an ongoing negotiation that ended up in a lot of brawling and a lot of not fun. So it ended up being just a strict, like, don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you thing. So I'm working in the armory one day, and this nervous-looking guy comes over. He's dressed like a World War II Marine. And I'm like, hey, man, how's it going? You looking to do some bartering? Like, do you want some guns or whatever? And he's like, no, I'm just here to deliver a message to the war chief. I'm like, well, that's me, so what's going on? And he's like, all right, here you go. And he gives it to me and tries to walk away. I'm like, hold on, like, I got to give you something for your trouble here. And he's like, no, it's okay. I'm like, yeah, no, get over here. And I just I already have my gun on him. So he comes over there. I open the letter, and it's tax forms from the New California Republic saying, hey, you've been on our land for quite a while, and you haven't paid taxes, so here's a bunch of tax forms. And I know the leader of 20 Mule Team Outpost. I know who sent this, and her name is Ranger Flintlock. She has a crew of about 15 people, and I tell that guy, I'm like, stay right here. Like, don't move. And so I round up all of my guys, and I start dishing out guns from the armory, and like just bigger and bigger guns.
Are these people also potentially wasted at the time?
Somewhere.
Those
It's early out there, Clay. It's the Wasteland. There are no rules.
There's no rules.
But there was what made it more iconic was that while we were getting ready, there was this incoming dust storm, and it was huge. Like, it was this huge dust storm, and so there were like warnings on the radio, and I immediately thought of Fury Road when they're chasing into that dust storm. But I went over there regardless of said dust storm with my whole crew, and I start screaming for Ranger Flintlock to get down from her trailer. That she had this, their camp had how they load food into airplanes. They had this little lift with a semi-truck trailer on it, so they made that their little outpost VIP area. So she climbed down with her whole crew. Like, the whole crew was on edge, and they all brought out their guns up, and my buddy David just took this mini nuke and put it down on the ground, and then my second in command pointed a gun at it, and they all dropped their guns. And so I started reading out loud the taxes, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And just start ripping it up, and I just shove all the pieces into her hand. And meanwhile, the Republic of Texas is camped across, and they hate the NCR, so they just pulled up lawn chairs and popcorn and started watching. So I shoved the remainder of the tax forms in her hand, and I just yelled, "Go fuck yourself," and then walked away. So
this is so good.
that was just like 15 minutes out of my day. Like, that became, everybody was talking about that. Everybody else got taxed, and people get carried away in the lore, but other people just don't want to get involved in it, and they're there to have a good time, watch the shows, the entertainment, music, and free booze at the Atomic Cafe.
Rob, do you watch Westworld?
No, I haven't watched it yet, but I hear good things about it.
I'm just getting strong vibes of this is like a very proto Westworldy experience.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's exactly what I was thinking, because it's a good show, and you should definitely watch it. It's very similar. But I was going to ask you about how many people do you guys get out there?
3,000 about.
Whoa.
Yeah, when I went, it was like 500 or 1,000. Maybe.
So are you familiar with just the lore of Burning Man and how it's gotten bigger and bigger every year, and how it's actually becoming quite interesting to see the rich people and the normal, like it started out with like anybody can go. These weren't very rich people, and it blew up to the size now that where rich people are like flying in like catered food, and there's like people that are setting up shop for these rich people, have air conditioning, and there's like sushi and like special like VIP areas, like to have this like experience. Like, are you worried, and have you seen anything akin to that go on in Wasteland?
Well, I mean, when you go out there, you want luxury. Obviously, you're in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
People bring RVs, but there's an area for RVs. As far as like luxury, like getting food catered in, like somebody cooked a whole pig last year. Like, whatever you bring, you take out. So,
but
like,
you're not having sushi imported from Japan, and like,
no.
You know what I mean? And like crazy leather chairs. Like, I'm curious if people get wind of this, if they would like it. To me, I would think it would be kind of a little unsettling for it's like these people come in and
because
it almost breaks the experience, right?
It would
Right.
break the experience. We strive for immersion out there.
Yeah.
So when you talk about these luxury items, we're going to take those luxury items and we're going to slash them up and then paint all over them in dust and then
That
sit
is
in.
true. Yeah.
We want them as dirty as possible. I mean, my throne I'm sitting in was made by a guy out there named Captain Walker, and he made this thing out of part of a missile truck and an airplane flap.
Cool.
And it's super comfortable actually too. But we wouldn't want anything like that. I think you're talking about just it becoming more commercialized, too big,
Yeah.
like people in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So I haven't seen it done that yet. I mean, like people, like I see more and more elaborate things get built, but that's
Mhm.
the real interesting part is that everybody builds this event. Like it's
Yeah.
not like, they just come and put tents up. Like a lot of people will build like functioning. Like I just met a tribe who's looking to power the city. Like they want to build
Wow.
generators and windmills and stuff like that for the weekend. I don't know how they're going to do it, but
this
More
is
power to them.
Yeah.
what I'm saying. There's just a strong parallel in its timeline and evolution to the Burning Man, and it took a long time for Burning Man to get to where it is, but it did eventually. Like because I think you bring up a really good point. If you saw a tray of sushi and a bunch of people in like white suits, you'd run over there, throw the sushi on the ground, and then eat it. But I mean, there is something I think to be said that if it does get big enough and popular enough, regardless of there's these fair weather fans that they might not even fucking know what Mad Max is. They just know that there's this big party and it's really fun and it's entertaining and they just want to go to experiences, but they have no knowledge of it and have no necessary even respect for it. They just want to show up and be a part of this thing that they saw on CNN, right?
and we've seen those. Like we've had an increase of people who do come. All right, I was at an event once where some people came up to me and they looked like they were going to the club, like
Yeah, right.
like and I'm like, what are you doing out here? And they're like, yeah, can we have a drink? I'm like, where's your costume? And he's like, oh, well, we didn't wear one. We're just like kind of sneaking in. I'm like, you snuck in. I'm like, I'm like, get out of here, like.
Right.
We reported him, had him removed, but there people try and sneak in sometimes. You can check it out, but they're thrown out because they don't have a costume.
Because they're wearing board
sports-
shorts and polos and like, yo, what's
Yeah.
up, bro?
But
Where
I've
the
seen
chicks
people-
at?
Yeah, like where the chicks at? And most of the time they'll throw on a pair of goggles and try and call it even, but they try and really strictly enforce the dress code. There's also a cap limit. Like we can't have past a certain amount of people.
Oh, interesting.
Which I think is good, but
Yeah.
we don't have a subway yet. We don't have
Does Burning Man have a
any-
subway?
or any what's that?
Does Burning
They
Man
have
have
a
a subway?
Starbucks.
I don't know. No,
Oh,
no
Subway for
Starbucks, but
food.
the coffee tribe I was telling you about, they do free coffee and it's amazing because they're like all baristas, so it's
That's
perfect.
It's so
Nice.
cool. It sounds like
I'm
such
there.
fun
As long as you have
experience.
that, I'm there.
So look, guys, if you want,
if that counts as being commercialized, so
I don't think so yet, but I was just wondering to see if there's any talk about it or worry about
no,
it. Because,
I mean but we've gotten nods from like George Miller. Gave us a nice nod.
that's awesome.
We had the guy who played Wes from the Road Warrior, the guy with the mohawk. He was out there actually hanging out, which was pretty great.
If Mel
Nice.
Gibson showed up, would you feel conflicted?
Would
I don't know. I don't think he'd ever go. But if
Yeah,
he did,
I know.
just say hello. I mean,
Well, he'd probably be like, "Hey, man, this is awesome. There's no Jews around here, is there?" Be like, "God damn it, Mel."
we don't see the world through that lens. So.
Well, look, if you guys want to know more about Wasteland, maybe Rob, you could tell us about where to go and how to follow. I want to know where I can find tickets for Wasteland and learn more information. I want to know where I can follow you, the Dukes of Nuke, and yourself.
You can follow me on the Dukes of the Nuke on Facebook, and you can also follow Wasteland Weekend, all the news updates, and get your tickets when they go on sale at www.wastelandweekend.com.
Woo! Awesome. This is cool. All right, so that's Wasteland.